The
Chennedy
WNBA
Carter
has
now
just
with
witnessed
12
one of
points
its
off
most
the bench.
explosive moments in recent history, and fans are
And
still struggling to process what they saw. It all started with a single, shocking incident during what should have been a high-stakes but routine matchup. When Chennedy Carter delivered an unexpected, aggressive blow to rising superstar Caitlin Clark. The impact wasn't just physical, it shook the entire league to its core. Within minutes, the video of the hit went viral, racking up millions of views, with fans, players, and analysts weighing in from every corner of the internet. Was it just hard defense or something far more personal? Speculation erupted. Commentators froze mid-broadcast. Benches stood up. And most notably, Caitlin Clark looked absolutely stunned. Not by the physicality alone, but by the sudden turn in tone from someone she didn't seem to expect it from. Chennedy Carter, known for her fierce playing style, instantly became the center of attention, and not in the way any athlete wants. The league's response? Swift. Warnings flew. Discussions of suspension hit headlines. And now everyone's asking, is Chennedy Carter about to be banned? Social media is ablaze with theories. Was this premeditated? Was there tension brewing behind the scenes? Or did something off camera spark a meltdown that played out in front of millions? Even other WNBA players have started picking sides. Some defending Chennedy's intensity. Others demanding accountability, with the league under pressure to act. And the public demanding answers. One thing's for sure. This moment could define careers. Buckle up, because what started as a basketball play has spiraled into a full-blown scandal. And the real story behind a hit? You won't believe how deep it might go. The arena had never been louder, but in that exact moment, the second Chennedy Carter's shoulder collided with Caitlin Clark, everything went silent. The crowd gasped. Clark stumbled, her expression frozen in disbelief. Even the referees hesitated for a moment, seemingly unsure of how to react. It wasn't just a foul. It felt like a message, a statement. And now, the entire sports world is demanding to know, what was that message really about? At first glance, it looked like a heated, in-game moment. Aggressive play happens, especially in high-stakes matchups like this one. But this time, something felt different. Fans watching the live broadcast were quick to rewind and analyze. The slow-motion replays were everywhere within minutes, and with each frame, the commentary got louder. Did you see her eyes before the hit? That wasn't just contact, that was personal. What did Clark say to her? Social media exploded. Hashtags like #SuspendChennedy and #ProtectCaitlin started trending. Former players began weighing in. Even celebrities jumped in too. The fray, some condemning Carter's actions, others calling it just good basketball. But deep inside the league, sources say the incident set off alarm bells. Officials were reportedly holding emergency meetings within hours, trying to assess not just what happened on the court, but what was happening behind the scenes. And behind the scenes, the tension between Chennedy and Caitlin wasn't exactly new. Whispers had been circulating for weeks. Reports of subtle trash talk, unspoken rivalries, and mounting pressure as Clark's stardom surged. Some insiders suggest that veterans in the league were starting to feel the weight of the spotlight shifting to newer, younger stars. There's been some resentment, one former teammate hinted. Clark's rise has been meteoric. And not everyone's handling it well. For Chennedy Carter, that may have been especially true. Once hailed as a franchise changer herself, Carter has had a rocky road. Injuries, team changes, and off-court controversies have kept her in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. But her talent? Undeniable. Her aggression? Legendary. And in that one moment, both exploded on full display. The hit wasn't just a foul. It was a boiling point. A former assistant coach who worked closely with Carter called the incident a sign of deeper frustrations, adding, "Chennedy plays with emotion. Always has." But lately, there's been this edge, like she's carrying something heavier. What exactly is she carrying? According to multiple unconfirmed reports, tensions between Carter and Clark may have intensified during preseason media rounds. At a promotional shoot, insiders say the two barely interacted despite sitting just feet apart. Sources claim Carter appeared irritated by the attention Clark was receiving. It wasn't what she said, one production staffer shared. It was what she didn't say. It was cold. Fast forward to the game. High stakes, high pressure, and the two collided in more ways than one. Cameras caught Carter pacing. The sidelines before the hit, visibly agitated. Clark, ever composed, didn't flinch, even as the energy shifted then. The moment the hit, Clark went down. Carter kept walking. No apology. No glance back. No hand extended. The fallout was instant. Commentators demanded discipline. Fans screamed for accountability. And the WNBA, now under the microscope, had to move fast. A statement was released hours later saying the league would review all footage and context before determining the appropriate response. But insiders say the discussion was already leaning toward a potential suspension or worse. As for Caitlin Clark, her post-game interview was a masterclass in composure. Bruised but poised, she chose her words carefully. "It's part of the game," she said. "But we're here to compete, not to hurt each other." She didn't name names, but the subtext was crystal clear. Meanwhile, Carter declined interviews. Her team issued a brief response. No comment at this time. Silence, in this case, only fueled the fire. Rumors began swirling about locker room reactions. Some claimed teammates were distancing themselves. Others suggested Carter was defiant, refusing to apologize, even when prompted by coaching staff. And then the twist, a leaked audio clip allegedly from the locker room. After the game began circulating on Twitter, in it, a voice believed to be Carter's could be heard saying, "She thinks this is her league. I had to remind her it's not that simple." The authenticity of the clip hasn't been confirmed, but the internet didn't wait. Within hours, #ThisIsNotYourLeague was trending, and the narrative took a darker turn. Suddenly, this wasn't just a sports story. It became a cultural flashpoint. Clark's meteoric rise represents a new era. Young, clean-cut, and massively marketable. Carter, meanwhile, symbolizes the battle-hardened players who fought for years in a league that hasn't always given them their due. For some, this incident exposed deep-rooted tensions not just between two players but within the league itself. The question now: what happens next? Fans are demanding answers. League officials are under pressure to respond decisively. And both players are now at the center of a storm that has gone far beyond a single game. Is Carter facing suspension? Will Clark speak out more forcefully? And what role will the WNBA play in navigating this mess? The fallout from that leaked locker room audio didn't stay contained. By the time fans woke up the next morning, the clip had been reposted, endlessly shared on social, analyzed by media, becoming the spark for a widespread conversation about respect, legacy, and power within the WNBA. Commentators on sports shows dissected the implications. Sports writers speculated about what Carter really meant. Was it a comment on Clark's rising fame? Or a broader critique of the league's direction? Inside the locker room, the atmosphere had grown tense and divided. Players who once shared laughs and warm-ups now found themselves caught between solidarity and surprise. One veteran, asked off the record, admitted some players were rooting for Carter, saying she was speaking truths the league wasn't ready to hear. Others distanced themselves, worried the controversy would eclipse the sport they loved. Meanwhile, Clark's team moved quickly and strategically. Their public relations advisor arranged interviews emphasizing Clark's professionalism and maturity. In one televised appearance, Clark was asked about the audio. She paused, eyes steady, and then said, "I'm here to play basketball. If that's threatening to someone, maybe we need a conversation about why." Her measured response, .com and collected. Earned praise and cast Carter's remarks in an increasingly harsh light. Journalists began to dig into both players' histories. Clark was painted as the poster child for the league's future, philanthropic, media-savvy, record-setting. Carter, meanwhile, was framed as the league's wounded warrior, talented, fiery, but maybe at odds with the changing dynamics. Feature pieces contrasted their career arcs. Clark's recent record-breaking season versus Carter's veteran status and battles with injuries and team instability. Underlying it all was the question: was this simply a clash of personalities, or something deeper, a shift in generational identity? Many analysts described it as the old guard versus the new guard. Carter represented hard-won credibility, struggle, and grit. Clark symbolized youth, hype, and mainstream appeal. The audio leak became a manifesto. Seemingly penned by someone feeling sidelined, the league's disciplinary committee sprang into action. Sources say investigators requested interviews with players, coaches, and staff to piece together what had happened before, during, and after the hit. The WNBA stated they were committed to player safety and professional conduct, and that they would take appropriate action as needed. Insiders believed this could lead to a multi-game suspension or worse, mandatory anger management and public service obligations. Carter released a rare statement that night: "My actions speak for themselves. I'm fiercely protective of what I've worked for. I love this league." My comment was about respect and not forgetting those who fought before the headlines. She didn't apologize, but her tone was softer, more reflective than the locker room clip. Still, public reaction was split. Some applauded her honesty, others called it defensive. In parallel, Clark's supporters held a different view. Social media quickly flooded with praise for her composure and professionalism. Clips of her coldly walking away after the hit were shared as proof of her integrity. Several brands she worked with posted supportive messages. Interviews with teammates highlighted her work ethic and team-first mentality. One said, "Caitlin brings a light to this league, and we all felt her grounded presence yesterday." The next day, a special WNBA panel aired, featuring Gina Torres, a former star, and brand ambassadors. They debated the issue: was Carter's hit a hard-charging defensive play or crossed the line into personal attack? Was the locker room comment a candid truth about league politics or a sign of bitterness? Either side gave ground, and the split in public opinion became glaringly obvious amidst the debate. An unexpected player voiced support for Carter, a retired WNBA legend who said publicly, "This league's roots are built on fight, resilience, and passion. We can't forget the ones who came before just because someone new is taking the spotlight." That endorsement gave Carter renewed momentum, and some fans softened their stance, seeing her as a seasoned voice pushing back. But it didn't end there. Clark's camp hinted at posting additional video evidence, allegedly showing Carter trash-talking Clark before the hit. "We want the full story," one spokesperson said. Speculation grew that more lines of conversation might surface, further complicating the narrative. Even sponsors were now on edge. Sources told us at least 2 brands paused campaigns with Carter, pending the conclusion of league investigations. Meanwhile, Clark's sponsors reiterated their commitment. "We support athletes who exemplify leadership and respect." Politically, the incident started turning heads. Pundits weighed in on talk shows, suggesting the clash signaled a cultural pivot. Was WNBA shifting from gritty foundation to image-driven spotlight? Which identity would define its future? Journalists reached out to both players' families. Carter's mother posted a heartfelt message on Instagram: "I raised a fighter. She loves basketball. Please see her heart." Clark received dozens of fan art and emotional support, with letters praising her grace. The emotional divide between the families reflected deeper themes: legacy, recognition, and evolving identity. Amidst all this surprising twist, Unverified reports surfaced that a third party intentionally leaked the locker room audio to ignite controversy, maybe to boost ratings, maybe to sway public sentiment. Speculation centered on rival teams or undisclosed insiders attempting to manipulate the narrative for advantage. It feels orchestrated, one analyst said, like someone's playing chess while we're watching checkers, while the public consumed. The league scheduled a press conference. Anticipation skyrocketed with announcements like closed session audio review and possible disciplinary timeline. Fans, pumped and anxious, prepared to tune in, knowing that whatever happened at the press conference would be the next turning point in a saga that had already redefined careers and sparked broader conversation about respect, power, and evolution. In women's sports. As part 2 ends here, the plot is thickening. Multiple storylines are colliding: personal histories, public scrutiny, league-wide implications. And now, with the official inquiry underway, everyone's waiting for the WNBA to weigh in for Chennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark to share their next moves. Stay tuned, this is just heating up. The tension in the arena had given way to a new kind of pressure: microscopic scrutiny, public posturing, and high-stakes reputation management. The WNBA's press conference had been announced, and everyone was glued to their screens waiting for the league's verdict. Speculation soared that Chennedy Carter could face a suspension or even be forced to miss the All-Star weekend. But the real question on everyone's mind: would the league hold firmer to tradition or lean into Caitlin Clark's clean-cut star power? During the press conference, WNBA Commissioner Donna Orrick stepped up to the podium, her face set in a serious expression. Cameras flashed, journalists leaned forward, and fans around the world held their collective breath. "We have completed a thorough review of the hit involving Chennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark," she began. "We recognize the physical and emotional intensity of the game. But we must also uphold the standards of sportsmanship and player safety." An immediate hush fell over the room. Orrick paused before delivering the blow. As a result, Carter has been suspended for 3 games, fined $10,000, and required to attend league conduct workshops. Tweets exploded, commenters erupted with reactions ranging from finally to harsh. Carter released a statement minutes later. "I respect the league's decision, though I believe it stems from heightened media pressure. I will comply, attend the workshops, and return stronger. I love this game and its history." The tone was measured, resilient, but tinged with defiance. Fans on her side applauded her for taking responsibility while pushing back against what they saw as a media-driven slap on the wrist. Detractors, however, argued the punishment was too lenient, a sign of favoritism toward star players. Caitlin Clark's response was equally noteworthy. In a short video posted to social platforms, she thanked the league, emphasized the importance of safety, and expressed empathy. "I hope this incident brings awareness, not division. We're teammates of the sport, not enemies." Her grace and maturity sparked praise, but some critics dismissed it as a calculated PR move. Noting how carefully her publicist had edited the message, inside locker rooms across the league, reactions were mixed. Some veterans felt vindicated, pride swelling at the validation of their style of play and their fans. Others bristled at what they called social media justice, worrying that the pendulum had swung too far toward protecting the new star. Team meeting rooms buzzed with talk about culture, unity, and respect for both legacy and rising talent. The media coverage went into hyperdrive. Headline after headline debated the nature of the punishment. Was it enough? Does a 3-game suspension send the right message? How do we balance the raw edge of the game with decorum and safety? Talk show hosts dissected the situation. Sports psychologists offered behavioral insights. And social media influencers dove into mini documentaries chronicling every step. Amid the frenzy, an important subplot unfolded. Caitlin's sponsors held a strategic advantage. Having publicly supported Clark, they capitalized on her poised response. Merchandise featuring her logo surged in sales. Memes celebrating her resilience went viral. And talk surfaced of upcoming endorsement deals. Carter's sponsors, meanwhile, paused promotions. Some even removed her face from ads as a precaution. Teams began recalibrating. Coaches across the league reportedly held sessions on conflict resolution and mental health support, citing the incident as a teaching moment. Players lined up for voluntary counseling and team-building workshops aimed at uniting talent across generations. The league promoted wellness in attentists, hoping to channel the tension into something constructive. But the real stakes were swirling around personal narratives. Chennedy Carter, bracing for a public comeback, began working behind the scenes on a video message for her fans, raw, unfiltered, showing her in workouts and with the youth she coaches. Insiders say she's also reaching out privately to Caitlin Clark to clear the air. For her part, Clark was continuing promotional work while speaking with mentors about managing unexpected controversy in the spotlight. Amid these efforts, whispers of a private meeting surfaced. Sources said a closed-door summit involving Carter, Clark, team leaders, and league officials was being scheduled in the coming days. No cameras, no press, just conversation. The stakes were enormous: repair public image, rebuild trust, and perhaps even forge a new kind of solidarity in women's basketball. Public sentiment remained split. Fans who supported Carter praised her roots, grit, and honesty. Those on Clark's side celebrated her grace, maturity, and star power. Yet a growing middle ground of "we just want the league to move forward" voices emerged, urging unity and redemption. As Part 3 draws to a close, the spotlight shifts from the explosive incident to the path forward. Will Carter's comeback video show growth or defiance? Will Clark's response inspire a new level of leadership? And can a private meeting patch fractured relations, or is the tension too deep to dissolve? And just like that, the WNBA was changed forever. What started as a single, shocking moment on the court spiraled into a full-blown cultural firestorm, one that exposed rivalries, challenged the league's image, and put two of its most talked-about players in the global spotlight. Chennedy Carter, fierce and unfiltered, became the face of raw passion and frustration. Caitlin Clark, cool and composed, emerged as the league's polished prodigy. But beneath the headlines and hashtags, something deeper happened. A conversation ignited about respect, power, and what it really means to share the spotlight. The fallout isn't over. Not even close. Carter's suspension may be served, but the impact will echo through every game, every interview, every sideline glance. Clark's calm responses have earned admiration, but how long can she carry the weight of perfection? And that private meeting we all heard about, what was said behind closed doors. Was there forgiveness, or just more fuel added to the fire? Fans are divided. Teams are recalibrating. Then the league itself is standing at a crossroads. What happens next could define not just this season, but the future of women's basketball. So now it's your turn. What do you think really went down between Chennedy and Caitlin? Was it just a hard play gone wrong, or something much bigger, simmering under the surface? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you Team Carter or Team Clark? Do you think there's more to the story we haven't seen yet? Don't forget to like this video if you were glued to the drama. Subscribe for more explosive updates, and tap the bell so you never miss a twist in the saga. 'Cause if you think this was the end, trust us, it's only the beginning.